basic fundamentals on Oscilio. In my opinion, Oscilio is a pure tempo deck, not an aggro deck, not a combo deck, but it's an aggro-ish deck, which of course wants to combo, but you're not like Kano or Storm deck where you just fully want to tunnel in the combo, because that will lead to a lot of issues like facing disruption, relying on combo too much, which then makes you lose a lot of games into like disruption and faster aggros. If the combo is not enough, if the cards don't line up, a lot of stuttering. My bad. Damn. There's like a lot of questions why we do run this and why we don't run that. We don't really need to talk a lot of some of these cards, but like, why do we run these cards? The baseline question is answered by that they are lightning. They are lightning. They are cyclable. They block 3. Like, you want as many instances as you can run in Oscilio, as many arcane as you want without breaking, and like having too many T's in your hand breaks. So that's why this instance that also like block 3 and act as an arcane are cyclable, are like the best cards in the deck. Lightning cards, those are like tempo and combo. We have like starters, and everything that is just lightning is good. The tag is like really important for not only reason for Volzar. Yeah, there we go. In instant amp for arcane spell. Because arcane is like turbo broken. Okay, you just send 0 for 4s into arcane. Even if the arcane is another 0 for 4, it's still more valuable than sending 0 for 4, because you target your opponent's resources. And because you have to understand, when you swing with physical attack, your opponent always blocks worst card out of their hand, and then they send the best value out of their 5 or 4 cards in their hand. But if you send an arcane, and they have to deny the search effect or try to mitigate the damage, they have to have arcane, the worst equipments that they do firstly. But now you attack their resources, they have to pitch blue cards. And like, for example, versus Brutes, if you strip a blue card out of KO, their damage output drops significantly. That's very important. Since we are a setup deck as well as tempo deck, and we have a combo that is not always deterministic, we do want to block a lot, okay? Blocking is very good, even though we sort of like we always prefer to be the aggressor, but that comes from good blocking. Firstly, you need to block good in order to find the pivots and to find the places to go fast aggro. So if your hand does not convert, you block the cards. You block 5 here, and you send 4. Play this. Arsenal. It's simple as that. And we do the basic Hamilton value math here as well. If you're not familiar with what that is, let me demonstrate it you very quickly. Attack for 4, block for 2, pitch for 1. Okay, so we want to play the biggest number out of this card, which is attack for 4. Now, this attacks for 4, blocks for 3, pitches for 1. We want to attack for 4. Same thing with these. Besides, this needs card to pitch into this, so it becomes pitch card plus this card equals to 5 value, 5 damage. Simple enough. But we don't have cards to pitch. We don't have action points. So what we want to do is we block 9. We send the 4. Now this hand is 13 value, which is like exactly the baseline as this game wants to operate. So as long as you convert your hands to this baseline value or near it, you will almost always guaranteed win. And please prioritize blocking over random Sigil of Brilliance draw. Let's hope to draw the correct card and all that, because we have this equipment. As long as we play the blocking, the mid-range, the value game with our opponent equal or close to equal to them, you will stumble upon an opening where you get to use these cards as your super Snapdragon scales, not Storm Striders to get the perfect Cannon Flash combo, but your unlock the hand equipment. Okay, we had the hand here first at one point like this. This hand is fine as it is itself. It's only offensive, which is unlucky. But using Greaves on like hand like this is if we swing for 10, coming back to this math again, and play this, fine. But we get what we can do as use Greaves here, even though we don't have no spell. We go 4, we go 7, we go 7, we go 4, and Arcane. So what did we do? 4, 11, 18, 22 over in 10. So we gained 12 value out of these Greaves. And that's the key thing to this deck, is you want to unlock your hands with your equipment. I will talk to cycling a bit later, because this bridges perfectly to how to use the equipment. So just playing the baseline. Actually, firstly, let's go over what to arsenal in this deck, because you realize that these kind of hands, what we just drew here, like many cards, hands like this, they don't do anything, like anything at all. You need a specific card to be with them, which is almost always Gone in the Flash. Sometimes it's Eclectic Magnetism, sometimes Blast to Oblivion. Like these work fine too. They are not as amazing. They are, in some hands, even better than Gone in the Flash, don't get me wrong. What I'm trying to do is not make this deck just a draw Gone win type of deck. These hands, they do want specific pieces for them. And in order for you to not need to draw these, like this needing to be your draw sequence, it's much better to just keep the setup for next turn, okay? Keep Arsenal in Gone in the Flash. That's your most important piece to do in Arsenal. Your perfect game plan, if you are very much allowed to do so. Now, this is like one of my favorite types of hand. Looks a little big at first, but the deal here is blocking 3, blocking 3, blocking 3, okay? Block 9, nice. Send 4, play Solace, heal 3, get Gone back, Arsenal Gone in the Flash for next turn. Now what did we do? We just did 17 value out of these 4 cards, because this Sigil of Solace, or if it's any instant, like all these instants are very good. They just say draw Gone in the Flash. That's what you want to do. Put in Arsenal. Perfect value right there. Like those type of value hands are exceptionally good. And remember the important part? Blocking, blocking, blocking. Because what this means, that your opponent probably dealt 3-4 damage to you. You heal that back up, and you send 4 at them. So you're like 1 card ahead of them in value. And like this type of consistent plays will let you get the pressure, get the turn order in the game. At some point you will draw a hand like this, which only converts offensively, okay? So if you've been raising your opponent and just prioritizing only offense, and now you draw this, and your opponent sends 15 damage at you, but now you can't tank it. You can't tank it. You just die. 4 instant hand, you die. But if you keep doing the consistent value plays and making better plays than your opponent numerically, now you might be here at like 25 life, 20 life. So like whatever your opponent sends you, you're like, no blocks. And now you activate Greaves, and you can do this back. You get a lot of like turn break points like this, because you always have to think with Oscilio, like how many turns do you have left by no blocking. If you are at like 10 life, it's always 0. So that's why you then have to fire these Greaves at spots where you necessarily don't want to. Like for example, if you're at 10 life and your opponent sends like 15 damage at you, let's get a couple of block 3s here. Now your hand is like this. You're at 10 life. This hand is fantastic combo hand. You're at 15 life. Sorry. You're at 10 life. Your opponent sends 15 at you. Now you have to block 6, so you can survive. But this combo is still like really good still here. Like with these cards, the combo is still the Greaves value is very good. But what is better is if you were at 16 life, you take 15, and now you can send this. So it's very important to realize the turn break points of how much can you take and mitigate, because sometimes you need to block 2 over and sending 4 just to get like that extra life for turn break point as a buffer to allow yourself a turn more in the game. That's why Sigil of Solace is such an important card in this deck, because Oscilio is a consistent deck. It does not really lose to itself, but what you lose to is your opponent drawing the nuts and firing Blood Rush Bellow. Then you're like 30, 40 life deck, as opposed to like Aura being 50 life deck, and your deck also is like half no blocks. That's why you need like these buffer cards. But like cards that just start your turn and make any draw that you draw be good, because the cards that don't work with these, they block. The cards that work with these, you can play them or cycle them. So now you reduce the bricks a lot. Also, like if you draw a lot of instants, just putting just about any instant CLV, Solace, Shocks as an Arcane outlet. Then you got like what else can I put in Arsenal? Sometimes spells, because you might draw a lot of sigils, but like these are, you know, the classic wizard problem. It depends TM. Okay, what it depends for is that you have to count like, okay, here I know my deck runs 35 instants in this loadout, so 1, 2, 16 instants has been drawn. How many cards do I have left in deck? That's like a bit more than half. So I know in this deck there is actually more instants than I have drawn beforehand. So mathematically I will draw more instants. So then you should put starters in Arsenal. But the baseline is that if you can, just please keep Gun Flash in your Arsenal. If you have not seen Gun Flash in a long time, you can maybe let it go to draw another one. But like, you play a lot of games, you realize when you let go of Gun, you go like, draw 4 cards up, and you're like, oh, well, I wish I had Gun Flash in Arsenal. Because this hand is just crazy. So Arsenaling is very important. And it's also matchup dependent, because into, like, say you're playing Assassins, you should not expect the combo ever. It's better to Arsenal like instants that have immediate value when you're forced to play them under a hate. Brilliance just replaces itself. CLV, same thing, replaces itself. Into aggro, you just want to find like disruption pieces and like immediate combo pieces and shoot the first combo you see. And in the longer games, I don't know, Teklavos or Earth deck, you just keep playing this Gun Flash from Arsenal. This is your anti-fatigue thing and like your Titan's Fist for 4, but better. And we are not even talked yet about Embodiment Lightnings. 2 bailouts during the game. Like, you have 2 kind of guaranteed combos during the game, thanks to your equipments. And the first thing is, of course, Lightning Greaves. Upgrading just instants to do the thing in the spell. Usually, it's just a value thing, but prioritize Arcane over Physical. And then if you're not comboing, blocking over damage most of the time. That's like the flowchart. The other thing is your Flash of Brilliance. And now this is very important for unlocking Oscilio. That's another combo piece, much like creeps. Now, why is that true? You're tempted to use it on Sigil of Brilliance, but the matter of the fact is that if we just take random cards here, give that a little shuffle. Okay, I have a nice hand. Greaves have been used. I have a nice hand. This like works fine. And now this pops. I use Flash of Brilliance for this. You draw like this. Like over half of these draws are kind of a brick, because what is more important than drawing random cards is your embodiments. When you have your Gun Flash, your Blast Oblivions, your setup is being correct and consistent, now this deck starts to like, you stumble a bit like first 2 turns or so, and then you find your things and they start to click and you go. Now again, this is your hand, but now we have this conductivity here. So this is a nice another combo that the hand has. We flash our brilliance, this conductivity back to our hand. Even over brilliance, I can drop this conductivity. And now we create embodiment. That has been blocked with. Now we go Gaia Flash. This unlocks this embodiment, this hand, like 100%. We do this. We get that. Now we go Fluttering. We go Conductivity. 4. And then we send this. Now we grab here back. Like these moments. Now both of the pieces that guarantee us a very good turn of split damage or combo. Because this also like goes into combo territory. Because at some point you will draw a current funnel in your hand. Then you're like, oh, I have conductivity. Well, let me make embodiment guaranteed for this current funnel. And now I have like a 25 value turn here. Just because of these draws and the correct usage of equipment. And now at this point as well, I would highly encourage you when you hit Sigil of Etchings of Arcana, when you don't got these and you have a guaranteed card in your arsenal that you can convert, just please pick Sigil of Lightning over Sigil of Brilliance. Again, coming to the random draws. How to value these is that if you get 3 value out of your arms, that's very good. 1 value from blocking with it, and 2 value from just, you know, popping 2 sigils. You're just pretty much happy to do that always. 2 the extra damage from this. Now, if your 1 pop guarantees you to hit Surge, that you know that your hand will Surge if you get 1 amp more from bindings, always do that, because Surges in the value system are like 3 value. Technically with Oscilio they are kind of more, because the game just gets a lot better when you hit Mind Warp or you get like embodiments, you unlock your hands, stuff like this. It gets just a much better. It's actually a lot more than 3 value, but I digress. Macro game plans that decide how you should cycle. If you're playing into decks that heavily try to block you, such like ice decks, earth decks, Teklo, whatever, decks like this that just prior blocking, you unlock them a win con of just fatiguing you out, which is normally not possible if you play well. This deck is impossible to fatigue unless something goes really, really wrong. But in general, if your cards, you know, this or next turn, 3 value, you should not cycle. If you're in the versus aggro, your macro plan is to cycle as fast as possible to throw up your first Gaia Flash or Blast of Oblivion or Sigil of Brilliance to do like any kind of combo so you can race, because they race faster than us with like just playing the good value game, because we can't like block their mask well enough. That's the only reason. Find your combo, cycle every turn very fast, then you find combo, you win. Into just normals, it depends. Just, you know, like I said, just get value out of each card. You're not in a hurry to cycle into your combo pieces, because the game might clump at some point. Just take guaranteed values in good place and you will get rewarded with consistency. If the game is going very poorly and you know you need to combo fast, then by all means just turn up the gas. The more you see your deck turning a turn, the better you generally have your hands, because you just like seeing 7 cards at once or 8 cards at once as opposed to just 6 cards. You can here pick like what cards you want to play. It's just much better. You're like technically opting, but like chumming through your cards